Imagine commanding a machine so powerful it could level entire fleets, change the course of history, and leave a trail of destruction across the oceans. From revolutionary designs to devastating firepower, these are the 10 most dangerous naval ships in history. Ships that left their mark through sheer destruction and unparalleled power. We begin with the infamous Bismarck, the pride of Nazi Germany's Kriegsmarine. Launched in 1939, Bismarck was designed to dominate the Atlantic. Displacing over 50,000 tons fully loaded, she was one of the largest and most heavily armed battleships ever built, equipped with 8 15-inch guns that could rain down destruction from over 20 miles away. On May 24, 1941, Bismarck engaged the HMS Hood in the Battle of the Denmark Strait. In just minutes, a single salvo from Bismarck hit Hood's magazine, causing a massive explosion that tore the ship in two, killing 1,415 sailors. It was one of the greatest tragedies in British naval history. But Bismarck's reign of terror was short-lived. After a relentless chase by the British Navy, she was finally crippled by torpedoes from aircraft launched from HMS Ark Royal. On May 27, 1941, British ships closed in for the kill, and Bismarck was scuttled after sustaining over 400 direct hits. Despite her brief service, her impact on naval warfare was monumental. Next is USS Enterprise CV-6, also known as the Big E. More than just an aircraft carrier, she was a beacon of American naval power in the Pacific during World War II. Launched in 1936, Enterprise was one of only 3 U.S. carriers commissioned before the war that survived the entire conflict. Enterprise played a pivotal role in almost every major Pacific battle, from Midway to Guadalcanal and Leyte Gulf. Her aircraft sank or damaged 71 enemy ships, including 3 aircraft carriers, and destroyed nearly 1,000 enemy planes. During the Battle of Midway, it was her dive bombers that delivered the decisive blows, sinking 3 Japanese carriers in just one day. Despite being hit by kamikaze planes and bombs, Enterprise refused to go down. She earned 20 battle stars, making her the most decorated U.S. warship of World War II. Decommissioned in 1947, the Big E became a legend, embodying the resilience and determination of the U.S. Navy. Few ships were as fearsome as the Yamato. A beast weighing 72,000 tons, the largest battleship ever constructed. Launched in 1940, Yamato was armed with 9 18.1-inch guns, the largest naval guns ever mounted on a warship. Each shell weighed 3,200 pounds, capable of obliterating even the toughest enemy ships with a single shot. Yamato was built to protect the Japanese Empire, but ironically, she was hardly used in combat. Her final mission came during the Battle of Okinawa in 1945, when Yamato was ordered on a desperate suicide mission to halt the Allied advance. Outnumbered and outgunned, she faced a relentless aerial assault from over 300 U.S. aircraft. Yamato absorbed incredible punishment, enduring 10 torpedo hits and 13 bomb hits before she finally capsized and sank, taking over 2,500 sailors with her. The loss of Yamato marked the end of Japan's dominance at sea and symbolized the futility of the battleship in the face of air power. In 1906, HMS Dreadnought changed the rules of naval warfare forever. With her all-big gun layout and steam turbine engines, she was faster and more powerful than any ship afloat. Her 12-inch guns could fire shells with devastating accuracy, and her speed made her a deadly adversary. Dreadnought's arrival sparked a worldwide naval arms race, forcing other nations to scramble and build ships to match her design. Although she saw limited combat, Dreadnought became the symbol of naval power during the early 20th century. Her most notable achievement was ramming and sinking the German submarine U-29 during World War I. Decommissioned in 1920, Dreadnought's legacy lives on as the inspiration for the entire Dreadnought class of battleships that dominated the seas for decades. Originally launched as the Ex-Goeben for the German Navy in 1911, this battlecruiser became an icon of naval warfare and a political weapon. When the war broke out in 1914, Goeben managed a daring escape from British forces in the Mediterranean and joined the Ottoman fleet, becoming Yavuz. Yavuz played a key role in the Ottoman Empire's naval campaigns, especially in the Black Sea, where she sank the Russian battleship Imperatrica Maria. Her speed and firepower were unmatched in the region, making her a fearsome opponent. Even after World War I, Yavuz remained the flagship of the Turkish Navy until the 1950s. In total, she served for an astonishing 63 years, making her one of the longest-serving capital ships in history. Though she was eventually scrapped, Yavuz's legacy is a reminder of the power of persistence and adaptation in naval warfare. Sister ship to the Bismarck, Tirpitz was a floating fortress. Weighing over 50,000 tons, she was designed to wreak havoc on Allied shipping in the Atlantic. However, after the loss of Bismarck, Tirpitz was relocated to the Norwegian fjords to serve as a fleet in being tying up vast Allied resources that were constantly on guard against her. Despite being heavily protected by the landscape, Tirpitz was the target of multiple British bombing raids. In November 1944, after several failed attempts, British Lancaster bombers managed to land direct hits with 12,000-pound tallboy bombs, capsizing the battleship and killing over 1,000 crewmen. The destruction of Tirpitz removed the final threat of German battleships in the Atlantic. The mighty USS Missouri BB-63 is one of the most famous battleships in history. She saw action in World War II, the Korean War, and the Gulf War, launching 16-inch shells weighing 2,700 pounds with devastating precision. But Missouri's legacy extends beyond her firepower. On September 2, 1945, aboard the USS Missouri in Tokyo Bay, Japanese officials signed the Instrument of Surrender, officially ending World War II. Missouri's guns may have been feared, but her role in ending the world's deadliest conflict solidified her place in history. Today, Missouri is preserved as a museum ship at Pearl Harbor, standing as a powerful reminder of both destruction and peace. One of the most famous ships in history, HMS Victory, led the British fleet to triumph at the Battle of Trafalgar in 1805. Commanded by the legendary Admiral Horatio Nelson, Victory's 104 guns delivered crippling broadsides to the combined French and Spanish fleets, securing British naval dominance for the next century. Nelson's daring tactics and Victory's firepower ensured a decisive victory, even though Nelson was mortally wounded in the battle. Today, HMS Victory is preserved as a museum ship in Portsmouth, England, still embodying the fighting spirit of the British Royal Navy. Nicknamed Old Ironsides because British cannonballs were said to bounce off her sides, the USS Constitution is an American icon. Launched in 1797, she won fame during the War of 1812 by defeating 5 British warships, including HMS Guerrier and HMS Java. Constitution's solid oak construction and powerful armament made her virtually indestructible in battle. At over 226 years old, she is still afloat today, making her the oldest commissioned warship in the world. You can visit her in Boston, where she continues to symbolize American naval strength. HMS Hood was the pride of the Royal Navy, and, at the time of her launch in 1920, the largest warship in the world. For over 2 decades, she served as the symbol of British naval supremacy, but her fate would be sealed in her fateful encounter with Bismarck in May 1941. After exchanging fire with Bismarck, a shell struck Hood's magazine, causing a catastrophic explosion that broke the ship in half. Only 3 of her 1,418 crew survived the sinking. The loss of Hood was a devastating blow to British morale and a grim reminder of the dangers of modern naval warfare. From the devastating firepower of Bismarck and Yamato, to the legendary resilience of ships like the USS Constitution and Yavuz, these vessels reshaped the course of history. Each one is a symbol of the immense power and the fragility of naval warfare. Which ship's story shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments, and make sure to subscribe for more epic naval stories. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest deep dives into maritime history.